What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3 Men in the Basement. I'm your host, Otto, coming to you live and direct from the Grotto. In the Grotto is where we film 3 Men in the Basement, and that is our comic book and collecting YouTube channel. Obviously, you're watching it right now, so you like comics and you like to collect. So, 3 Men in the Basement consists of myself, again, I am Otto, my co-host, Mr. Roger Levesque, another co-host, Mr. Bernie 1869, a.k.a. Short Box Bernie, and we also have another host, Nemesis Prime, straight out of Jersey, who does a weekly variant spotlight. Check it out. If you've been buying his variants and you've been checking out these books, you've been getting a good flip and you're getting a good return on your investment. So that's what we like to do. So we want the hobby to pay for itself. Also, shout out to my boys at Lords of the Long Box, TiVo, Darkside Jedi, and Justin again, Nemesis Prime. We've been kicking it lately. We've got lots of good content on both channels. So what I'm going to do, what we like to do here at 3 Men in the Basement is when we submit books, we don't find out the grades. We hold on to them and we do it live for you guys, and it's a tradition and it's something that we've stuck to. We've had books, stacks of slabs from CGC, and we haven't looked. And when you have 4 adults that want to know impulsively what their grades are, we want to do it here for you. We want you to see the reactions. I've had books come back, that I had no idea. We have the 9/8 Karate Chop. I've had books that come back with purple labels. We've had some disappointment on our channel, but it's always authentic, and that's what we want here in 3 Men in the Basement. So this is the Silver Age edition of this video. These books are off to get pressed, and then they will be sent to CGC. People I use for pressing are, in the past, I've used Darkside Jedi. He doesn't do it anymore. Always work with Chris Shaver on Instagram. You can always check him out. We also have Erod, straight out of the NY Warriors. Shout out to him. And we also have my buddy CGC, Blue Label Comics. Check him out on Instagram for comic books. My boy Pat Ray is very good. So, for all intents and purposes, I pulled out 6 books that I want to send. All right. I have what I think they'll come back at and what I think I'll be happy with. All right. So, I'm a huge Juggernaut fan, although you might think I'm a Wolverine fan, but I'm definitely a Juggernaut fan as far as villains. And this is X-Men number 12. Great red cover, popping and stuff like that. But it does have some type of water, I don't want to say water damage, but there's something on the back that's a little bit funky. Hopefully, whoever I send these to get pressed will be able to get it out. I'm hoping that this book comes back in a 6.5 to 7, only because of that water stress mark on the back. So I don't know. If it comes back a 5, I'm complacent. Anything less than 5, I'm unhappy with. All right. So 7, I'm ecstatic. But it's just got a great cover. Looks really, really good. I thought about just keeping it raw, but I'm slowly converting a lot of my X-Men favorites for comic book investing purposes over to slabs. Okay. Now, X-Men number 9. Now, this book is a spec book, and this is something that I've got a plan on for a while. So, because eventually the X-Men and some version of the Avengers will meet. So, this is X-Men number 9, the first time they actually did meet. Just a great cover done by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. And they're all on the cover. So, you got a lot of heroes. You got a lot of mutants, a lot of Avengers. I'm hoping this book comes back at a solid 7.5 to 8. I did pay for it raw, and the seller did tell me about 1.5 to 2 years ago that that's what he thought it was. I kind of agree. A little freighting on the side, but 7.5, I'm happy with. 8, I'm ecstatic. 6.5, I'm kind of all right, it's still a Silver Age X-Men book. I'm happy with it, okay? So, yeah, so that's another book that's getting sent out. The next 2 books are books that I've had in my possession for quite some time. And I've always said on 3 Men in the Basement that comic book collecting to me is a marathon. It's a long haul. I started this when I was 12 years old in 1982, okay? Just to give you an idea. I was that kid going to the Elks, the Knights of Columbus stuff, going with all these long boxes and the old comic book smell before there was cosplay, before there was all the stuff that the hype is now. I was one of those kids who was always there. And to this day, some of the same guys that I purchased books from are still in the business, and that makes me really feel cool because it just talks about the longevity of comic book collecting. So this is the second appearance of Reverse Flash. I'm a huge Flash fan and a huge Reverse Flash. I always kind of like the villain. So this is his second appearance. Flash 147, great book. I'm hoping this book comes back a 4.5 to 5. I have 4 to 4.5. 5 I'm really happy with. I'm a real numbers guy. I like 5, 7.5s, 8.5s, 9.2s. Of course, I'll take 9.8s. But again, anything less than 4, I'm disappointed. So that is what it is. That's what I'm hoping to come for. Now, I'm very linear. So if I have the second appearance getting sent out, I better have the first appearance. And that is Flash 139, the very iconic cover with Eobard Thrawn running in the distance on the side panel. This book is a book that I've been after for quite some time. And again, The copy that I wanted, that I've seen at a few shows, wasn't up to quality. It had the page crease in it. I don't mind creases, but it's right down the middle. That does bother me, especially for the coin value. I didn't want to buy it raw because I didn't want to spend that much money on it. But I held off. I waited, and lo and behold, at my LCS, Heroes and Hitters, shout out to them, a decent-looking copy comes up. So with a press, I'm thinking that this could come back definitely a 4 to 4.5. All right, anything less than that, I'm disappointed. And it's got some crisp edges. You know, the colors look good. A couple spine creases, but again, I'm asking for a 4.5 to 5. So we'll have to see what it comes back at. So first and second period of Reverse Flash. Now, this book has already been pressed by Erod. Shout out to him. He did an amazing job. This book has been a very interesting book in my collection. I'm a comic book fan, I'm a Spider-Man fan, but I'm a mutant fan. I love the mutants, I love the X-Men books and stuff like that. But I've grown up to Spider-Man just like I grew up with Superman and Batman. So I have seen incrementally how much Spider-Man books have gone up through Instagram and eBay in the last 5 years. And my followers used to say, Hillman, you're only half smart. Well, I'll take being half smart when it comes to comic book collecting and investing in Spider-Man villains because they're only going up in price. This is Amazing Spider-Man #4, a book that I've been after again for a long time, but really wasn't ready to drop the hammer. I passed on it a few times, and then on Instagram, somebody was selling it. I wish I could give you a shout out, but he had it graded at a CGC 2. I looked at this book, man, and I said, I don't know what these dudes were smoking that day at CGC, but these books are definitely not a 2 by any means, okay? This book is not a 2. I actually purchased the grader notes, which I don't do often, but again, this is an investment. If this goes up a grade and a half, I'm looking at a couple $100, and I'll spend that money to do that. So how this was a 2, I don't know, but Erod pressed the hell out of it. He cleaned it up. I'm hoping for a 3.5 to 4. If it comes back a 2, it is what it is. I don't know what I'm doing, but if it comes back a 4, I'm really ecstatic. And I mean, other than some wear and tear on the spine, and the grader notes just said like, you know, dirt here, dirt there, spine stresses, but I don't get it. Now, the next book is Tales to a Suspense 57, another book that's been on my long haul, and that's right here. So, I'm on Instagram. I do raffles. My boy X was out there raffling it. I jumped in it. I hit a mini. Bam! I hit a signature series 4.5. That's actually hanging on the wall of this book for me. Now, again, this book I've seen for a long time. I'm not a Hawkeye fan, but I'm an Avengers fan. I think Ronin's cool. And when I was a kid, you know, Hawkeye was a mainstay in the Avengers, so I guess I am a fan. But I definitely think Jerry Moretta did a great job. So, I already had that book. So after waiting 3.5 years, it falls in my lap. Then I go and check out my boy at KC Golds and Collectibles, my boy Fred. He calls me up. He goes, yo, Otto, and this is why you want to have people in the industry, because you want to have access to this. He goes, just pulled in a collection of Avengers books. I said, say less. I'll be right there. Showed up. I saw this book. Bam. He had it priced accordingly for what I thought. I'm going to have it pressed. You know, it's a white cover, so it's hard to find. There's a little bit of chipping on top, but because it's a white cover, you don't see many spine stresses. The corners look tight. I'm telling you, if this comes back a 4.5 and matches my other book, or a 5, boom, there goes the dynamite. I'm excited. So anything less than 4.5, I'm disappointed with. But again, these are my books, and I'll keep them. But, you know, I'm kind of crazy when it comes to being linear, as far as you like to have one graded, one not graded, you know, maybe the same grades and, you know, stuff like that. But it's just part of my collecting, and I'm sure we all have little ticks when it comes to our collecting. So that is it. These books will be sent this week or within the next 10 days to CGC. Knowing the turnaround time, we'll see you in August for these books, okay? So, on behalf of the 3 Men in the Basement, on behalf of Lords of the Long Box, thank you for watching. I am Otto, and I am out. Peace.